Welcome to the Lifelinks Podcast, a Latina podcast for the modern cultura. I'm your host, Consuelo Crosby, Peruana, California native, structural engineer, mother, and your amiga for all things Latina. Here we honor the women who navigate multiple cultures, both aquí and allá, and somewhere in between, providing that safe place for you to speak your truth, celebrate la cultura, and find belonging in this comunidad. Join us every Wednesday on your favorite streaming platform to listen to your new amigas as they share their journeys of lessons learned, barriers they overcome, and the joys of living life with pure authenticity. Encuentras your voice and discover the life meant for you. Hola, chicas! Happy midweek into this first week of Latina Hispanic Heritage Month. And life and vida, you name it, we are here to celebrate our Latina heritage every day in every episode. Don't you just love this time of year, though? There's so many events and celebrations, and they're all about our countries and cultures that it makes up for what might be missing from your everyday. I hope you have some fun times planned this month and that you started off with a really full weekend of celebrations. Ones that embolden you to take that next leap of faith to go after your goals and dreams. And that is exactly how we started off last week with Frances Vazquez Souchet, sharing how she jumped on that train of opportunity without hesitation. Because as she says, you never know when the next one is going to arrive. That is so true. So true. And we do not want to live a life of regret. Her vivacity and courage is exactly the amiga you want to lead you into the unknown, which is where all your big dreams come true. So today, the Pod Club episode following each of our full-length guest episodes, will focus on those powerful words of encouragement and ideas that Frances uses to get her past any hesitation and doubt. These Pod Club episodes apply to each and every one of us because they address that common thread that we all share in this comunidad. How to embrace our cultural identity, how to live that out loud, because our authenticity as individuals, that is our superpower. We are not half this and half that. We are not split aquí, de allá. We are two worlds, three worlds, four worlds combined into one, and all that love and knowledge and poderosa, that is what we bring to the table. Authenticity is your superpower, which is the title of my workshop that I presented at the AAUW National Conference this past May, where Frances and I met, as you heard on the episode. Not a coincidence for us. Truly, the universe wanted us to fan the flames of Latina fire so each of us feels seen and a loved part of the Latina community worldwide. So leading you into today, Frances mentioned how she had left everything and everyone she knew behind in Puerto Rico after graduating from the university at Rio Piedras to go after her master's in accountancy at Bowling Green State University in Ohio. Now, that's a long way from home, literally as she describes. And it made me think of our parents doing that same leap of faith to go after their dreams. But you don't have to leave your country to face unknowns. I'm sure you do it all the time with going after a new job or a promotion, relocating to a new city, or even taking your first solo trip. Life is full of new opportunities that are as exciting as they are scary, which leaves that little gap of of hesitation, and maybe even thoughts of quitting. But that's why we share these stories, to learn how other powerful mujeres faced a similar situation and persevered, so you feel supported and understood and maybe even learn what might work for you. So, whether you're as adventurous as Francis or maybe need some encouragement, here are Francis's ideas to both comfort and embolden you as you head off into that unknown, going after what you want.
I've always been the type of person who isn't afraid of what's going to happen or nerve-wracking. This is the first time where I'm fully and completely alone, like, no one that I know is here, no family, no friends, and I'm kind of building up from 0, and that's exciting for me. I like that feeling of possibilities, of anything could happen. I could meet anyone, or I could find the dream job, or just any experience that I know that I wouldn't get in Puerto Rico. It's exciting. Of course, you have to also think about the other side of the loneliness, and when you feel homesick, what are you gonna do? So, since I've only been a week, I have my home around me. I do have a flag behind me. I have this little trinket I bought in Viejo San Juan, and you don't see it, but I have this wall filled with pictures. I have my vision board over here. I try to visually crowd myself and feel like I'm doing the right thing. I look at those pictures and I know that each and every one of the people that are up there believe in me. And they all believe I'm gonna do something great and that I'm meant for more. And that just fills me up with joy and wanting to make them and myself proud. That's another thing that I try to think about, that not everyone gets these opportunities. You know, there are trains with opportunities that pass, and if you don't get on it, you don't know when the next one's gonna arrive. So I just
Right.
jumped in that train, no doubt. Didn't even look back, like questioning, is this the right thing?
I love how Frances gives examples of how she creates her comunidad around her, even when they are far away. Her beloved flag flying proudly on the wall, and if you looked at the reel and the video, yeah, it frames her entire background. Her little trinket that she brought from San Juan, her vision board illustrating her path and future self, and most especially, the wall of photos of people she keeps close because they are the ones that believe in her and in turn she wants to make proud. Comunidad is everything when it comes to making big changes or even little ones that are outside your comfort zone. It's why I created this platform, a sense of community that you can carry with you around the world, in your pocket, and in an instant. Reach out for support and comfort and love because we do believe in what you can do. You are poderosa, and anything you want, you go after con ganas. So, what dreams do you have for yourself? And are you facing any unknowns that might make you hesitate? We are here for you to find out what you need to push past those voices of doubt and go after that vision of yourself that brings you so much joy and excitement into your current day. Now that you've made that big leap of faith, you've got one step over the ledge and you are going to go for it. It can still be tricky, right? It's still scary. It gets your adrenaline rushing, and maybe there's some rough bumps in the beginning. And we've all been into that moment of, is this the right thing to do? Do I have what it takes? All those little voices are firing. So, how do you know that it's still the right thing for you? How do you know you're going in the right direction for yourself versus pushing up against a brick wall? Again, turn to the comunidad for words of encouragement from amigas who understand where you're coming from and where you're trying to go. Here's Frances's words that really lift you up to think of yourself from deep within and how to put yourself first. Literally yourself, not the ideas of yourself or not the ideas of other people's expectation, but yourself.
Don't ever stop for no one, not because anyone tells you not to, or they don't believe in you, or that Even if you have self-doubt, this is the moment where you can prove it to yourself. Prove to yourself that you can do it and you don't depend on anyone else's opinion. But let's say you tried it, like you begin trying it, and then you don't have a good feeling from it instinctively. If you don't have that like in you and you can't continue visualizing what your future is going to be like, I think it's a moment where you have to look back and think if it's worth it. Let's say in my experience in taxes. So at the office, and then when I would go out driving, I would retrospect and think back to my day, think, is this the fullest me I could be? Is this what I want to become? That
Yeah.
everyone knows about. Francis, the tax preparer. No, like for me, it wasn't. And I'm like, okay, I need to experience this to know that I didn't want it. Because if I never have
Mhm.
done it, I would have wondered, like, what could have happened? Maybe it was my thing. Maybe it wasn't. It's good to just try and give it your best shot. Even if it doesn't go well at the beginning, if you still visualize and you still see, no, I can get this done. No, I like what I'm doing, the work I'm preparing. And then you decide to continue in that path or take a step back and see what other routes you can take.
Amazing thoughts and ideas, right? It's so encouraging to hear an amiga telling us to go for it, to at least try because you never know until you try. It just silences those little voices from our childhood, those voices saying, what if I'm wrong? What if I make a mistake? What if I don't like it? What will people say? ¿Qué va a decir la gente? Well, esta gente won't say how proud we are of you for going after your dreams and not letting anyone or anything hold you back. And if you need help, perfect. That is all part of the process, and you're never alone in it. You have this comunidad and many other comunidades full of compassionate, brilliant mujeres to lean on. We believe in you. Make sure you catch the full episode of Frances because her vivacity lasts throughout. And you might catch other ideas or resonate more with her and her journey and the ups and the downs. And who knows? Maybe you're one of those awesome Latinos who was there at his flash mob and concert at the garage. I'd love to have all of that. So join us next week for another empowering story, a full length episode of going after dreams by taking a big leap of faith. Melissa Sandoval, native of Medellin, Colombia, had made it big here in the US, fulfilled her childhood dream of becoming a renowned journalist, and escalated into a successful career. But something about home and her people spun her into an even bigger dream, founding her own coffee company, Intuición Café. Intuición, the whisper of the soul. Her specialty coffee company is based on the spirituality of where she comes from and speaking to the depth of relationship that she provides to the growers in Colombia from the lands that they source the coffee in fair trade and sustainability. And it even goes to the depth of the day she literally launched her company. Listen how Melissa shares her compassionate story of seeking asylum as a child, aspiring to make it big here in the US, and realizing, after all her success, that home is where her heart is. All a reminder to live your authentic self, because that is where your power and your dreams lie. Check out her Instagram at Intuición Café and get ready to cherish her story next week here on the Lifelinks podcast. Remember to subscribe and follow on any of your favorite streaming platforms so you don't miss a single episode. Share it with your friends, listen together, and follow us on Instagram and YouTube at Lifelinks. And catch more about these amazing Latinas on our website at lifelinks.com. Live your authentic self. Encuentras your voice to share your story and step into your truth, ladies. Ciao.
Really appreciate the time you take to rate and review the podcast. Get the backstory and what you've heard here today and reach out on our website at lifelinks.com. That's LNXX. Because it's about time, it's about us. Stay in the groove on our social media at Lifelinks and get ready to make your move, ladies. Viva!